Hello everybody, welcome to this platform. This is Sichamba Jacob. All right, so this question is very simple. In case you're wondering on how to answer this question, it's very simple. It's linear programming, and I've been talking about this. Linear programming will always come in an exam. So the question reads, a carpenter intends to manufacture at least 10 tables and at least 20 chairs. So we're talking about tables and chairs right here. Okay. So the question or the statement continues. Each table requires 4 hours of assembling and 2 hours of varnishing. So there is assembling and varnishing. Each chair requires 3 hours of assembling and 1 hour of varnishing. Okay. So I want you to understand something here. And before you understand that, let's just continue and reading the question. There are 240 hours available for assembling and 100 hours for varnishing. So basically what we're going to do here, since they are saying, given that X represents the number of tables and Y the number of chairs, write the 4 inequalities which represent these conditions. So we know that we're talking about tables. So look at this. This is table. I want you to understand something. And this is chairs. So we've got tables and chairs. So what we're going to do here will simply be to get X. Okay, since they have said X should represent the tables. So we shall say X is greater or equal to a 10. This is one of the inequalities. The other one, we're going to say Y for chairs right here is greater or equal to 20. So we've got 2 inequalities. So the remaining inequalities, since here they're saying 4 hours, okay? Each table, and we know that table is X. So each table requires 4 hours of assembling, okay? 4 hours of assembling. So we're going to say 4x, because x is for tables, okay? X is for tables. So we're going to say 4 hours. While here they're saying 2 hours of varnishing, okay? So even here we're going to say x will go with a 2, but this is varnishing, okay? I want you to understand something. 4 hours of tables being assembled, 2 hours of tables being varnished. Okay, so they're moving with X. We shall say plus. Even here, plus. Here they're saying each chair, now we go to chairs, requires 3 hours of assembling. We know that assembling is moving with the 4, this assembling. And each chair, we're talking about Y. We shall say 3Y plus 3Y. Okay, and here they're saying 1 hour of varnishing. So we are talking about a chair, 1 hour of varnishing, these 2 hours of varnishing and 1 hour of varnishing, they'll move together. It will be Y, 1Y. So here it will be, we'll follow this statement. There are 240 hours available of assembly or for assembling. So this is assembling. We're going to say is less or equal to 240 because this is the maximum number of hours. The same here is less or equal to 100 because here they're saying and 100 hours for varnishing. I don't know if this makes sense to you, but just follow through. It will definitely make sense. So here, once you identify those inequalities, you can write them on a graph paper. It's really important to write. So you can just say question A, it's the inequalities. So question A, we have one inequality which is X is greater or equal to 10. We've got another inequality which is Y is greater or equal to 20. We have another one which is number 3 here. And number 3 is 4x plus 2y is less or equal to 240. The last inequality right over here, This is a 2x plus a y is less or equal to 100. So these are the 4 inequalities. So for question B, they are saying, using a scale of 2 centimeters to represent 10 units on each axis, draw x and y axis for 0 is less or equal to x less or equal to 70, and 0 is less or equal to y less or equal to 100, respectively, and shade the unwanted region. So on this one, you come right down here. You see the corner of your graph paper, right somewhere here, and you are required to use a pencil. So if this is 0, you go to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70. So you do your x-axis. This is our x-axis, of course. So you draw your x-axis, very nice, and your work must be neat. So this is our x-axis right over here. Again, you check. Here they are saying 0 to 100. We are moving in tens, this 10. So from 0 here for the y-axis, from 0, we go to 10. So 10 needs 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Okay. So you also do the same here. You draw your y-axis. It should be neat also. So this is a y-axis. So once you draw these inequalities, or the x or y plane, you now start drawing the inequalities. So I'll start with the first one, which is x is greater or equal to 10. I'll go to where 10 is on the x-axis, which is right over here, and then do the line, okay, passing at 10. So this is how the line will look like. It will be like this. Okay, so you see the line is passing at 10, and they said it's greater. So this side is greater. We shade the opposite, which is the less. So this is the side we are shading right over here. Okay, so make sure your shading is properly done so that examiners are able to see what you're doing. So this is how it's supposed to be. Okay, we shade very nice. Okay, so we even indicate. Now you can use the pen. You say x is greater or equal to 10. The next one is y is greater or equal to 20. Of course, it will be right here. It will pass at 20. Okay, so this is where this inequality will pass through. So it will be at 20 all the way up to somewhere here. Okay, so this side, it's okay, it's not needed, don't mind very much, because we are ending here, right here. So the greater is the top part. We shade the opposite, which is the less, because this is y is greater or equal to 20. So this is what we are going to shade right over here. So we indicate this is y is greater or equal to 20. It's very important that you indicate the inequalities. We now come to this one. So I want to show you something on this one without wasting your time, what you can be doing. So we'll find where it's passing on the y-axis. So to find where it's passing on the y-axis, okay, this one right here, I've just remembered when writing here, I think we did not write properly. It was supposed to be a 3 here. Okay, so now we can now graph that equation. So this equation, if you can see when writing here, you can see when writing here, it was a 3. So we're supposed to have a 3 here. I think I made a mistake when writing. So here, we're going to say we want to graph 4x plus 3y is less or equal to 240. So to know where this graph is passing at on the y-axis, we are going to ignore this, and then we shall say 3, okay? Hopefully you are following, you're able to see what is happening. So we shall say 3y is equal to a 240. We divide by 3, this and this will go. Y will simply be equal to 240 divided by 3. It's giving us 80. So this graph is passing, or this inequality is passing at 80 on the y-axis. So this is where it's passing at 80. We know that it's passing right over here. Now, what about on the y-axis? Where is it going to pass? So on the y-axis also, we do the same. We get, on the x-axis, we get the same equation. We want to know where it will cross the x-axis. So we're going to ignore this one with y. We shall say 4x is equal to a 240. Divide by 4, this and this will go. So we shall have x is equal to, when we divide by 4, by 4, it's giving us a 60. So it's passing at 60 on the x-axis. So we check where 60 is. It's right over here. This is where 60 is. So this inequality is passing here at 60 and here at 80. So you put your ruler nicely on both ways. So this side on the x-axis, it's at 60. For the y-axis, it's at 80. Okay. So this is how this looks. So you can see it's coming from here all the way to here. Now, where are we supposed to shade? Because here they're saying is less. So less is down right here. We shade the opposite, which is the greater. This is the greater right over here. Okay. I hope you're able to see what is happening right here. So this is the greater. We are shading right over here. Okay. So we're done with this one. We can now indicate. We shall put it here. This is a 4x plus 3y is less or equal to a 240. Okay. So now we check the next one. The next inequality here is 2x plus y is less or equal to 100. So for this one, we know, of course, that on the y-axis, like we did with the previous one, okay, so this is how it was. So we shall say, okay, we ignore this. Where is it passing on the y-axis? It's at 100. So we know where 100 is right over here. We now find where it's passing on the x-axis. It's the same inequality. Same inequality. We ignore this, and then we're going to say 2x is less or equal to 100. Divide by 2. This and this will go. X will simply be equal to a 50. So it's passing at 50. Okay. So we check where 50 is. It's right over here. So we put our ruler at 150. So when we put our ruler there, we now do the inequality. So we can draw. Then also here, they are saying 2x plus y is less or equal to 100. So we shade the opposite, which is the greater of this inequality. And this is how it will look like. Okay, so that's it. We can indicate this is a 2x plus y is less or equal to 100. So now, once we get this, I like encouraging students to be picking the coordinates. It's very important. So this is 10, 20. Wow, this one is a 40, 20. This one right here, this is a it's a 30, 40. Then we come to this one right here, up here, if you're able to see this here. So this is a 10, 67. Okay, right here. So it's important that you pick the coordinates, and then after picking the coordinates, this will help you answer the next question, which is question C. They're saying each table yields a profit over 300. So tables, we know that it's X. So we can say this is question C. They're saying each table yield profit of what? A 300. So we're going to say 300 X, because X is for tables and 300 is for tables. You say plus. Here they're saying while each chair sold yields a profit over 250. So you shall say 250 Y. Chairs, it's 250. Even put a question mark like that. Find the best combination of the number of tables and chairs to gain the maximum profit. So this is what we call objective function. Now, what you're going to do without wasting your time, this is what you're going to do. You start punching on your calculator. So start with, I can start with these. I want you to see these coordinates, okay? So I know here it's 300, so I'll write 300, open bracket. For X, I'll start with this set of coordinates. This is my X, this is my Y. So I'll put this X on my objective function and the Y also. So I know that my X is what? My X is 10. So I'll put a 10, then say plus. Here it's a 250, open bracket. I'll put a 20. So this is giving me 800. So I want you to see these sets of coordinates are giving me 800. Okay? When I do that, I'm getting 800. So let me find a separate paper. This is what you can also do. You find a separate paper so that you write what the values that you're getting. So for this one, for 10, 20, I've gotten 800. And then I go to the next one, which is right over here. For this one, when I punch this one, I do what I did. For 40, 20, I'm getting what? I'm getting a 17,000. Okay, I come to this one. That is 30, 40. I'm getting a 19,000. Okay, I hope that's what you're also getting. I come to this one right up here. When I punch, that is 10, 67. So this is giving me 19,750 kwacha. Okay, so in the question they said, which combination will give us the maximum profit? It's this combination, because this is the maximum amount that we've gotten. It's the biggest amount. So now what we're going to do, we'll stick to this combination right over here. So we can show our work. We shall say 300, open bracket, 10 plus 250, 67. Okay, so from here we simplify, of course, and when we simplify, we are getting a 3,000 here when we multiply, plus here when we multiply, we're getting a 16,750. So when we add here, we're getting a 19,000, okay, 750. So now we can say this is the one which is giving us a maximum profit. So we can say, okay, here we get 10 tables. These are tables, and 67 chairs will give us the maximum profit. So for question D, they are saying calculate this estimate over the maximum profit. So here for the maximum profit, just get the value that you found as the maximum profit. That will be your answer. Okay, so that's it. And to the people wondering how I was picking the coordinates here, you check your wanted region is this one. So the coordinates where these are meeting, those are the coordinates you must pick. I know some of you may be thinking of picking this one. This one has been cancelled. It's not part of the wanted region. Also, this one is not part of the wanted region. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've learned one or two things. If you want to join our online classes so that we can help you understand very well, this is a number you can get in touch with us on, and we'll guide you on how you can join our online classes. 0969 17 5701. Thank you, and bye-bye.